Hello everyone, I am Priyanka Gaur. Welcome back to my channel Learning with Pace. In this video, I am going to give you the explanation of the second chapter in your Flamingo textbook, and the chapter name is Lost Spring, written by Anise Jung. And Anise Jung in this chapter talking about deprived society, talking about the melancholic state of poverty-stricken people, how poverty steals the innocence in a child, right? And at the same time the happiness and the joy. Now here she is narrating the story of two young boys. The first one is Sahibe Alam and the second one is Mukesh. I have already given you the explanation of Sahibe Alam. Now let's continue with the story of Mukesh. So she has given the title to this story, which is about Mukesh basically, and the title is I Want to Drive a Car. Now Mukesh is somebody belongs to he belonged to basically Firozabad. And how the story starts? Well, Mukesh is somebody who wants to become a motor mechanic. So this is what he's telling this to Anise Jung. So after this, Anise Jung asking him, does he know anything about cars? So that time Mukesh replied that one day certainly he will learn how to drive a car. Now Anise Jung is telling the readers that Firozabad is known for making glass bangles. It is famous in fact for making glass bangles. In each house, in each family, everybody is just occupied in making bangles, right? And amidst such environment, among such people, Mukesh is having high dream to become a motor mechanic, right? Mukesh doesn't want to follow this family lineage business, which is bangle making, and he wants to become a motor mechanic. So this is what she says, that his dream, it looks like mirage. Mirage means which is unrealistic wish, right? Then she says that Firozabad is a center for making glass bangles, and people are working there generation to generation. They are in this business of making glass bangles, right? At the same time she says that it seems like, you know, women in the corner or around the world, they get their glass bangles only from Firozabad. This much of bangles they make or produce, right? One more thing she says, that not only eldest people, in fact children are also busy or occupied in making bangles, right? Glass bangles, and it harm their health basically, right? It is not good for their health. Well, she says that in Firozabad, since children are also occupied in making bangles, so these people are quite unaware of the rules and regulations and the laws that is being implemented by our government. So she says that people having lack of knowledge regarding this thing, they do not know, they are totally unaware that it is not good for the children to work in such an environment, and it is illegal too, it is against the law. So in what kind of condition our children can't work? First, when there is hot temperature, and when there is dingy cell, that means when there is dark or dim room, and when there is no window, no air passing through, no light is there. So in such condition, it is illegal for the children if they work there. So you cannot force the children to work in such an environment, right? But people living in Firozabad, they hardly know about anything related with legal stuff. So now later on she says that if this law is being implemented and forced, you will catch 20,000 children from there who slog day and night in making glass bangles. At the same time she says that these children, before reaching up to the adult age, they end up losing their eyesight. Reason being, well, reason is one, that these children, they slog, I mean they toil 24/7 in dark dingy room, and their eyesight is more adjusted to the darkness than to the light outside, and that's how their eyes can't bear the light outside, and they are the pupil is more adjusted to darkness, and this is the reason before reaching the adult stage, they end up losing either their eyesight or their brightness. Now one more thing she says, that Mukesh is somebody amidst such environment where every children is just busy in making bangles, whereas Mukesh is somebody having such big dream of becoming the motor mechanic. And one more thing, the garage is quite far away from his house. So when Anees Jung is a bit curious to know about if the garage is quite far, how would he manage? So that time Mukesh replied that he would walk down to the garage, but certainly he would learn how to become a motor mechanic, right? He certainly wanted to become a motor mechanic. So there is this zeal that you will find in his heart. Now Mukesh's eyes quite lightened up when he wanted Anees Jung to take a visit in Firozabad, and this is what Anees Jung did. So Anees Jung took a visit in Firozabad. What she found, that streets are quite narrow and the lanes, the street are quite, streets are quite stinking. Why? It was having the foul smell, reason being the garbage that was littered here and there on the street. At the same time, she found each and every house wasn't properly made. They were the half-built shack, basically made up in hovel form, like it was a slum area, having crumbled walls. That means as if the walls would fall down right away, and the doors were wobbly. And in every house, in every family, what she found, that animals and family members are living together as if they are in primeval state, they are in prehistoric era. Okay, now they stopped at one such house that was half built. And one more thing, Mukesh wanted Anees Jung to take a visit of his house, reason being he got excited while saying this, that his house is being renovated. So Anees Jung is kind of having a hope that his house must be properly built. But right now, when they stopped at such half-built hut, she came to know it is not properly even renovated, right? Well, after entering into the house, what she found, at one side there was a firewood made up of thatched grass, and the sizzling, she is telling us the scenario that the sizzling of spinach leaves could be heard from that corner, right? At the same time, she found that on ground there was a big aluminium platter. On that, vegetables were kept there in the chopped form. And the food is being prepared by a frail young woman. Frail means she was quite thin, and she was the daughter-in-law of the house. So you can say this Mukesh's elder brother's wife, basically. So Mukesh is having elder brother, and this elder brother's wife is making the food, and she had to take a charge of 3 men in the house, which is Mukesh, Mukesh's father, and Mukesh's elder brother, right? And it is a tradition in this house, and not only in this house, in fact in India it is a tradition, when an elder one enters in the house, a daughter-in-law is expected, or bahu is expected, to get up and hide herself somewhere else, and then veil. She should keep a veil basically on her face. She should cover her face whenever elder man is there. So here in this family, the eldest one is Mukesh's father, who was quite impoverished, and this man was a tailor earlier, but right now he is a bangle maker. Throughout his life, he got failed many times. He did not make a proper house. He did not even renovate the house properly. He did not even send Mukesh and Mukesh's brother to the school. Whatever he has done till this life is teaching them art of making bangles. So after this, Anees Jung is bit flummoxed that why he changed his profession. Like earlier he was a tailor, then why there was a need to come into bangle making business. So that time Mukesh's grandmother, she replied, she says that it is his karma, right? So basically karam is something, your destiny, that is predestined or written by God. So she says that it is his karam, God has given him this work, and if God lineage is there, you cannot break it down. And this grandmother, she also suffered a lot, because her husband also ended up losing his eyesight. All right, so now Anees Jung is telling us that in Firozabad you will find bangles everywhere, right? Spirals of bangles, I mean the circle of bangles you will find everywhere. And how they make bangles? Basically they pick up the glasses and they weld, they solder together, right? I mean they join the pieces of the glasses and giving them, by welding them, giving them a shape of circle, and later on polish them with the dust, all right? And that's how, you know, it is quite harmful for their eyes. Now she says in Firozabad you will find numerous bangles of each and every color, be it paddy green or blue or anything, right? Or pink or whatever the 7 possible color that you find in rainbow at the same time, by mixing them. So whatever the color is possible to make, each color you will find in these bangles. And she says that these bangles are so much in you know, quantity that you will find piled up in unkempt yards, and at the same time you will find them on a hand cart which is pulled by young men to sell them off. And here she says that Firozabad is a shanty town. Shanty town means roughly built roughly built town. She says that you know, in this roughly built town you will not find any house properly made, right? That's why she is referring Firozabad is a shanty town. Now later on she saw a young girl, Savita. She was wearing drab pink dress, faded pink dress, and her moves, you know, her moves of making the bangles were so mechanically, I mean she was very fine with making the bangles thing basically. And at the same time she says, Anish Jung, that Savita is sitting with an elder woman, but Savita being young girl, she doesn't know the sanctity of glass bangles, but one day she would certainly come to know what is the importance or symbolization of glass bangles. And Anish Jung is telling all the readers that glass bangles having a purity attached with it. Basically in Indian women it is considered as a symbol of suhag, and Savita will certainly come to know once she would become a bride. She would be having henna mehendi on her hand, the red henna mehendi, and the veil would be there on her face made up of red color, right? So one day when she would be a bride, that time she would come to know that what is the importance of having this glass bangles. Now Anish Jung says this elder woman who is sitting with Savita, she knows very well, elder woman knows very well the importance of glass bangles, because many years ago she became a bride, right? And this elder woman is wearing glass bangles right now, but she's not having a proper eyesight. She lost her eyesight or brightness, and this elder woman telling Anish Jung that ek ser bhar khana nahi khaya, that means they did not even have a full plate of meal. And this is the ring you will find, and this is the similar story you will find in every family of Firozabad, because each and everybody is moreover occupied in making you know, bangles, but at the same time they did not have a full plate of meal. Now Anish Jung is having a conversation with this elder woman's husband, and her husband says that entire his life what he has achieved is he has made a shelter for his family. Now after listening this, Anish Jung is telling the readers, you know, one would certainly wonder, because they slog day and night and still many people are not able to buy house, but this man moreover having this business had the capability to make a shelter for his family. Now later on Anish Jung says that since children, young men, they are forcefully occupied in this business, and at the same time they are trapped in middlemen. How can they be trapped by middlemen? Actually middleman is somebody who is having money with them, rich people. They borrow, they lend money, and their money is being borrowed by people living in Firozabad, right? So एक example लेते हैं. Suppose this is the father of the family and he is quite poor, belongs to Firozabad. Now what he would do, he would actually take money from middleman, right? Now middleman in this, you know, after giving the money, he would put a quite huge amount of interest, so that can't be pay off by father, right? So the interest he cannot pay, the money he cannot pay, so that's how this father is being trapped by middlemen. But if the father is not able to pay, then the baggage would have to somehow this baggage would have to tolerate by their children, right? So fathers and forefathers and their baggage that goes or carry forward to where their children. So that's how these young men, they are occupied in making business, and they are being trapped by these middlemen, since their fathers and forefathers not able to pay all the debts, right? So that's why Anees Jung asking these young men that make a cooperative, a legal firm against these middlemen and against the child labor. So that time, these group, basically what they replied, these young men, they replied that if they would make a group against middlemen and against this child labor, so they would be hauled up by, they would be dragged by police, beaten up, and they would be put behind the bars by saying that they are doing something illegal. All right. Now later on, Anees Jung saying that the root problem is that they are not having any leader who can show them the right path. Now that's why she says that these people, they move in such a circle from poverty to apathy to greed to injustice, right? Like poverty, they are poor, lack of concern people show towards them, and again they are also not having the lack of concern. The greed here, that means the greed they have to face, the greed of the middleman, of the vicious circle, like the bureaucrats and the politicians and the rich people, right? This is the greed they have to face, and the repercussions if they speak against them, right? If these young men, they speak against these greedy people, the repercussions at the end they have to suffer, that is the injustice, right? That injustice again happened with them, right beta? Now right bacho, now with flow it happened. Well, right now she says that in Firozabad there are two types of family or circle, I would say. First one is these poor people, they are in a web of poverty, they will not come out of this poverty so easily, and moreover they are having this stigma, not only the eldest people, in fact on young and the children one, they have this stigma that they are born in Bengal making caste. Now you must remember, what is Bengal making caste? Actually these eldest people in the family, the fathers and forefathers, they put on the pressure on the children and young people that they have to follow the bangle making business. Reason being, they are in such a caste where they need to make bangles only because this is the destiny they have, and this is the business given by God. So this is the thing they have to suffer basically. And the second circle, which is quite vicious, where you will find bureaucrats, highest officials, basically policemen, legal authorities, and middlemen, money lenders basically. So this vicious circle, they put on the baggage on the fathers, forefathers, on the young man, on the children, right? And it's quite difficult for the young men and the children to put down the baggage. Reason being, they have, since childhood, they have seen that their fathers and forefathers have heard or have tolerated or the torture given by these people who comes in vicious circle basically. Now later on, after having this scenario, after hearing all the stories, after observing so many stuff, Anees Jung felt quite cheered. Why she felt cheered? Why? Reason being, she had a sense of flash regarding Mukesh, and she says that Anees Jung says that Mukesh one day will become a motor mechanic. He won't be in this web of poverty. Mukesh is having a zeal in his heart that one day he will come out of this business or family lineage or this stigma which is bangle making caste. Now she says that since Mukesh is having a bravery or a dare thing, well, one more thing, in Firozabad nobody is allowed to occupy or go into other business. Reason being, again, the stigma, that is the baggage they have to carry, which is like bangle making caste thing. But again, one thing, nobody is having a dare to come out of this business, and it is quite courageous in Firozabad when you want to go into other business. But Mukesh is having this courage, and that's why Enise Jung felt quite cheered. She felt happy. Now she is asking, Mukesh, that is he having any sort of dreams to fly aeroplane? That time Mukesh replied, no, he is not having any sort of such dreams, but he's not regretting while saying this. Why? Because he has entire his life seen hurtling of the cars, I mean moving of the cars here and there. So that's why he's having a dream of just, or you can say his dream is quite limited to cars only, because this is what he has seen. At the end, Enise Jung is telling us that barely an aeroplane that fly over Firozabad. So that's how Mukesh's dream is quite limited to driving a car or becoming a motor mechanic, right? So this was it, and at the end she tells the readers indirectly and directly that one day Mukesh would become a motor mechanic for sure. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are still occurring with any doubt, comment sections waiting for you, and you can DM me on Instagram. If they are not, you want to join, then of course you can follow my Telegram group. If you want me to take the live sessions for the doubts, basically, of course I will come, but again you have to drop a message there in the comment section or anywhere on the social media platforms. And yes, and do join Telegram group, because there I'll be sending very essential material for your board exam. Thank you so much for watching this video. This side Priyanka Gaur, I would like to sign off with that.